So good morning from Minneapolis, the 5th all-time meeting between these two. And he starts with Antoine Raymond as the running back. And to throw on first down and looking for Ian Strong. Pardon me, that is KJ Duff, and he makes it look easy.
How does he do when the picture changes like it has right here?
He's going to give this off to Antoine Raymond's first carry of the day, and he's pulled down after a pickup of 1. Second down for the Scarlet Knights. Kaliak-Manis with plenty of time, and D.T. Sheffield snags that right in front of Zaquan Bryant. We thought maybe he had a pick until Sheffield came out of nowhere to make the catch. Kaliak-Manis making some adjustments. Already an 18-yard catch and a 29-yard catch on this opening possession. And now Raymond with a stiff arm, and Parrish comes over to push him out of bounds after a good first down gain. There should be a barbecue after this game. Making a full-on family reunion. There's Raymond breaking through, and another first down. And it's just chunk after chunk after chunk for Rutgers to start this game. This was 13 yards.
Yeah, the opening script is really fun. As you see Rutgers kind of hurry up here. Variety of different runs thus far.
Back to Raymond, and he gets squeezed in at the line of scrimmage. 8th play of this game-opening drive for Rutgers. Samuel Brown makes his first appearance of the year back from injury. He's in the backfield and shifting to the left of Kaliak-Manis. They're going to give it to him, and he can't reverse field. Pulled down by Anthony Smith, who's having one heck of a year. Back to the ground. Raymond, and that hole closes quickly, and now it's 4th down. 22-yard attempt for Jay Patel, who had made 18 straight before a rough kicking day last week. A miss and a block. Trying to get special teams back on track is Rutgers. And they don't! Unbelievable! After the blocked field goal attempt, Minnesota takes over just shy of the 11-yard line with Lindsey under center and coming out to throw. With a fullback on the field, he finds Cam Davis for the catch. Drake Lindsey to toss it to Femi Ijaboy, his first touch today, and Rutgers defense all over that for a loss of a couple. Now 3rd down and 6, and he finds Logan Roya. The question is, did he reach far enough for the first down? Let's see where this ball is marked, and it looks short by about a yard.
Yeah, here comes decision time, right? Isn't this so fun?
Tom Weston on to punt it away. Second possession for Rutgers, who marched right down the field only to have a field goal attempt blocked to start the game. 8th and Kaliak-Manis, long throw, caught, pitch and catch. Ian Strong, his first catch today. This is Sam Brown's second carry today, and he is turning forward, and he gets about a yard. On 3rd and 2, and Kaliak-Manis is going to throw to the tight end, Kenny Fletcher, who picks up the first down. It's hard to tackle as he gets into Minnesota territory. Colin Weber is in the game as well. Weber was listed as questionable on the injury report today, but the tight end shaken up last week. Where number 18 stays in to block here. Now Kaliak-Manis, all the time in the world to connect with KJ Duff. Well, this looks like practice right now for this Rutgers passing game. Second down and short. And it's Kaliak-Manis throwing and connecting with Ian Strong again. Another first down. Rutgers doing what it did on the first drive, just moving it right down the field. First down and goal for Rutgers. Second time they've been down here already in this game. Kaliak-Manis checks it down, Colin Weber, and the ball comes out and is picked up. Did it touch the out-of-bounds line? Minnesota thinks they got the ball. Did that ball go out of bounds is the question. Question 1, was it a catch? I think the answer to that is yes. Then did it go out or not? And it did go out of bounds. The officials are ruling as Colin Weber is still down over there. He took a hit, and that ball was loose. Minnesota picked it up. And let's see, Yogi, does this ball hit the out-of-bounds line or not?
Yeah, it did from up here, but let's see. The ball is out. I think I'm with you. It's a catch. Yeah, that's a on the white. Ball is out. The ball will be placed where the ball goes out of bounds.
They've had a 10-play drive to start the game. This is an 8-play drive. And Caliak-Manis is going to keep it and throw, and it is caught. Touchdown Rutgers. DT Sheffield in a tight window with the squeeze. And now a point after attempt for a special teams unit that had its first field goal attempt of the day blocked. Patel gets this away clean, and it's good. Jack Scallion to kick it away, and he's going to put it up in the air. Derek LeCaptain is going to muff it. Now he picks it up, and he's able to get out to about the 17-yard line. 3 and out on the first possession for Minnesota today. Low snap for Lindsey. He's able to get it. It's batted up in the air, and it falls incomplete. Trying to jumpstart things offensively. As Pierce Walsh, the tight end, splits out. A couple of tight ends in the game for Minnesota. Deep drop. Lindsey, good pocket, and a good check down to Cam Davis as he gets a first down. He has been a welcome addition to this Minnesota team. Lemeki Brockington goes in motion. Back to Cam Davis. Spins off the tackle. What a great run for the 7th year back. And turns what could have been a loss into a 7-yard gain. Back to the ground. Ojibwe stumbles down. Shy of the line to gain. It's going to be 3rd and short. 3rd and inches. And here's Ojibwe, and he's swallowed up in the backfield. Keyshawn Griffin, who missed that tackle on Davis, is there to blow it up. And now it's 4th down. A Rutgers punt unit that loves to pressure the punter. And this gets away clean. Duff. 3rd possession now for the Rutgers offense. Caliak-Manis pressured, and he can't get away. Pressure up the middle again, picked up. Nathan Caliak-Manis, patient, and DT Sheffield right there when he needs him, right at the stick. A pickup of 16 yards. They did give Sheffield the first down. And it's Antoine Raymond, a flag down, and he gets dragged down after a first down run. But we'll check on this penalty and meet our referee, Jeffrey Servinski, for the first time today. That was a 13-yard carry.
Holding. Defense number 91. 10-yard penalty added to the end of the run. It's first down.
That's a 23-yard play when you factor in the 10-yard penalty on Devin Eastern. Zelinskis, the center for Rutgers, making his team high 30th straight start. Here's Raymond. Swipes the defender, and then the help Baranowski comes to stop him for a 2-yard gain. He'll throw, and that is too hot for DT Sheffield. And now whistles here before 3rd and 8. Minnesota took a timeout. There's Raymond. And he jumps through the hole, and he picks up the first down. Big run. Another first down for Rutgers. Colin Weber, who left the game earlier on the last drive, has returned, and he's on the field for Rutgers at tight end. Raymond again. And Raymond gets a hard yard. And it's 2nd down.
It's such an interesting element here if you are Danny Collins, defensive coordinator for Minnesota. Like, you want to be aggressive, you want to create havoc as he calls, but you also know that Nathan Caliak-Manis can read it.
Caliac-Manis holding. Caliac-Manis running, and he goes down after a game that'll make it 3rd down and 2.
He does this every single time out. He's got the ability in the zone read game to put pressure on the edge and watch him late. You call it stealing a pump as a quarterback. A little pump fake, and that gets the defense to feel like it's coming as they go hurry up with the run.
And weight room battle there, and it should be enough for the 1st down based on that mark for Antoine Raymond. Caliac-Manis, good pocket, looking for the end zone again, and he cannot connect. Looking for KJ Duff. I feel like half the plays they've run have been down here inside the 20. 11th play of the drive. End zone shot again, nearly intercepted by John Nestor. They went one-on-one with him and the star receiver Ian Strong, and Nestor won that battle. 3 of 4 on 3rd downs today as Rutgers 2 of 2 on this drive. Caliac-Manis stands in the traffic, and it is caught. Touchdown Rutgers. Another. KJ Duff. This has been a clinic on offense for the Scarlet Knights. Patel's extra point is good. Can Minnesota find a spark anywhere? If anybody could provide it, maybe it's Coy Parrish who's going to bring this out. Squeezes onto the ball as he gets out to the 19. 14-0 hole, but forget the scoreboard, Yogi. They just need to get down the field. They have had a hard time getting anything going. And Lindsey's going to take a shot to open this drive. And he's got Smith, and he makes the catch. Still on his feet, fighting his way all the way down inside the 5. Jalen Smith, 78 yards when they needed it most.
How about that shot? And that lit this entire place up. It's zone coverage. Remember against Iowa, Rutgers just played man-to-man. Zone on this one, they take advantage of it. Deep shot to Jalen Smith. They wanted him to elevate. Redshirt freshman, Drake Lindsey to redshirt freshman, Jalen Smith. He loves it. We got some juice inside the 5 and inside this stadium.
That more than doubles Minnesota's yardage production for the day. And now they are right on the doorstep. Defense ready there for Ejeboy. As Lemecki Brockington goes in motion, Lindsey fakes it to him. Now walks it up to Gears, who wants a flag and gets it. Jamison Gears, what a tough cover in the red zone, and Abe Wright committed the penalty.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. Ball be placed at the spot of the fall and includes an automatic 1st down.
2 tight ends here.
Ejeboy punches it in, and Minnesota's off the mat. And now Brady Denneberg on for the point after. This ball's booted out the back of the end zone. Nearly an interception there, Aiden Gooseby. Now 2nd down and 10. It'll get it to Raymond. Raymond turns that corner with some heat, and now it's 3rd down. 3rd down, and it's picked off! Kerry Brown taking it the other way, still on his feet, running through traffic, and this game has totally flipped.
Kerry Brown, a really talented, dynamic player. You see him in the slot. He looks like he's playing man. from jump, but he ends up playing zone, and you see the eyes change a little bit right as the snap goes. He looks to Ethan Kaliakmanis, and he sees where he's thrown it the entire time. That's the third time Ethan Kaliakmanis has made a poor decision, finally gets burned.
After starting 9 of 9. The yardage book will say that Kerry Brown ran 27 yards back. The GPS tracker is going to say about 3 times that. So Minnesota right back on the doorstep. Drake Lindsay, quick turn, launch it, end zone! Megan Brockington with the touchdown. 14-0 Rutgers led this game, and then a big 78-yard play to set up touchdown number 1 for Minnesota, an interception to set up touchdown number 2 for Minnesota, and we've got a tie game. After the pick, he throws middle, and it's broken up. There's Goosby. Flag comes in. Goosby just saw it. Oh. And that breaks his heart.
Pass interference.
If they want.
Defense number 17. Ball replaced with foul. Automatic first down.
The point being, you're seeing this secondary play more aggressive. Mike Gerald in now at the corner to the wide side of the field, the bottom of the screen.
So first and 10, Kaliakmanis into traffic. Look out, Ian Strong couldn't get there. That was Goosby breaking down, and the guy you just mentioned, Mike Gerald, in coverage. 9 for 9 to start, 1 of 7 since. Back to the ground, Rayman gets away at first, but not at second. Lucas Finnessy was right there. And now it's third down.
And you're watching Minnesota bring in a fresh defensive line. They're going to see some pressure off the edge in this package.
Rutgers snaps it before Minnesota set. Pressure from Cohen Parrish! A huge hit!
Coy Parrish has been making plays all week long since that Cal game. The coaches have told us. Danny Smith, the DC, said that, in fact, saw him make a play on a pass rush, kind of just like that we just saw in that sack on Kaliakmanis, where he had a huge smile rushing the passer, clipped it, framed it off, and showed it to the defense on Friday. Said, that's how I want you guys to play, like a kid in the backyard.
14 unanswered for Minnesota. Lindsay taking time, and it's just going to put it into the seats. Or at least into the bench. Lemay Jaboy in at running back deep behind Lindsay. Making a lot of adjustments at the line of scrimmage. And goes through his progression and just throws it through the hands of Pierce Walsh. 0 for 2 on third down today is Minnesota. Pressure. Lindsay cuts it loose and cannot connect. Trying to run underneath that was Smith. And Lindsay got hit again. Tom Weston to punt that away with a lot of movement in front of him. This is high in the air to D.T. Sheffield, looking into the sun, able to get a couple of. Rutgers takes over. You may have heard the penalty on that punt was a block in the back against Rutgers.
27 Brown, ball carrier, studded.
Back to the ground for Brown. Breaks 1 tackle, and then the swarm arrives after a pickup of 2. It'll bring up third down and 5. Minnesota still trying to get set. Pressure up the middle. Gets home. Maverick Baranowski. After that previous possession took less than a minute, here's Logan Royal with his second catch of the day. Maybe this is a day that he gets going in the portal, the addition from UCLA. It's a guy who had 88 catches and 9 touchdowns in 2 seasons for the Bruins. A couple of tight ends. You could hear Drake Lindsay saying going to the shotgun and backs out. And takes a shot. Gracie just could not run underneath it.
Also, got to give Bo Masco credit. I mean, this is a secondary that struggled at times last week against Iowa in that Friday night game. There was so much energy, so much juice, and it was Iowa with the explosive plays.
Quick throw out to Logan Roy. Logan, you just called him a third down option, and he picks up the first of the day for the Gophers.
Yeah, it's a really nice job from quarterback Drake Lindsay and the route from Loya.
Rutgers as many first down as points today, and Minnesota has just the 3, and yet this game is tied. Brockington going on a back and forth jog, and now he's going to catch it out in the flat. He's going to try to make a one-on-one move, and he can't get away from Jacoby Henderson. A pickup of just 2. But they will. Lindsay's going to turn around and hand it. Boy bounces it outside, and he's able to stay in bounds until the clock hits 2 minutes. So Cam Davis is on the field now to start here on 3rd down and 1. And he's going to get it. And he gets very close. And it does look like the official is waving. This is a first down on the near side. On the far side, he looks short. 4th and inches here. And the offense on the field to try and go for this. PJ Fleck's going to use a timeout here. Low snap again, 2nd time today. Cam Davis. This is very close, and I think it's short. We'll see where they spot it. Certainly where the officials are coming in, it is short.
What a stop, if that is the case.
And they will measure, but always a reminder, the line is unofficial. You can see that ball is pretty short. Nope. And Rutgers takes over with 1:06 and all 3 of their timeouts. Rutgers has had a 3-play interception drive, a 3-play punt drive, and another 3-play punt drive. They once led 14-0. Caliac Manis with time, and that is right into the hands of KJ Duff, who makes his way out of bounds to stop the clock at 59 seconds. A field goal team that has struggled lately. A blocked kick already today for Rutgers. You wonder the confidence there as Antoine Raymond races for a first down and gets out of bounds. So big run there for Rutgers, still with all 3 of their timeouts. And now PJ Fleck is going to use a timeout on defense. Rutgers still with all 3 timeouts after the Gophers use their final one. And Caliac Manis throws, and that is a strong catch from Ian Strong, and the clock will stop momentarily after the first down.
So impressive from Caliac Manis. He feels the blitz coming from Baranowski. There's no problem.
Pressure. Caliac Manis heaves it. Jump ball on the sideline. It goes out of bounds. Pressure there from Anthony Smith, who has made a couple of big plays in the backfield. Caliac Manis sets up. This time has time. It is just broken up. Whoa. What is Emmanuel Carmo doing out there? The true freshman linebacker, the #1 player in the state. #2's a linebacker, Yogi.
Yeah, and he's running on the wheel route. Beautiful job of turning back. It's one thing to run with somebody, but to turn back to set up this 3rd down.
Towards the student section goes this Rutgers offense. Antoine Raymond slips through. Raymond first down, still on his feet, and he goes down at the 1-yard line. What a run!
Raymond with the 24.
Studs on the field. The 2-star receivers outside, a couple of tight ends, and Antoine Raymond is in. Touchdown Rutgers. So after 14 unanswered from the Gophers to tie the game, Rutgers back in front before the half. And he's got it. Boy, Parrish setting it up. And this crowd roars as Parrish gets into space. Parrish has the kicker in front of him, and he sets Minnesota up with no timeouts in 8 seconds. A 55-yard return. This is going to be a 50-yard attempt. And this is away clean. And no good to the right. Minnesota will get the ball first to start the second half. Woo! What a first. Coy Parrish muffs the kick to start this second half and is able to recover it at the 15-yard line. Nearly a disaster for Minnesota. So Minnesota starts at their own 15-yard line. Remember, to Rhett's point, they had a 4th down opportunity near the end of the first half, didn't get it, and Rutgers was able to come away with points. Now Drake Lindsey throws to Logan Lloyd, but it's broken up by Cam Miller. Lindsey, quick play action and a spin, and Lemeki Brockington, did he hold on? He did. The hand of Bo Masco was in there as well. He can't believe he didn't knock it out. But just a redshirt freshman from Minnesota at quarterback. The run game had a hard time in the first half. Femi Ichiboy, who had 6 carries for just 5 yards in the half, but he's able to pick up that first down. Good pocket. And touch. Jamison Gears very near the line of game. And a nice connection there. It's a pickup of 9 yards.
And it looks like they're going to go tempo here. Trying to get moving here at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there. Pass protection. Cam Davis standing in the pocket as Minnesota goes quick.
Lindsey gets it out quick. And another first down. And now this offense is flowing coming out of the locker room. Quick again, and there's Javon Tracy again, and he pulls his way for what should be a first down. PJ Fleck is furious down there on the sideline. He thought Tracy got the first down, and they marked him just shy. He's in the line judge's ear as Lindsey picks up the first down. Somehow the ball comes out late. They're going to rule this a catch, and a first down at 6 yards. Rutgers showing some pressure. Chibome comes free up the middle. And there is Drew Pivot with his first catch of the day. The ball is coming out lightning fast for Drake Lindsey.
Yeah, and here comes the tempo, lightning fast for Minnesota. He's doing a nice job with his command. The way he's communicating to his offensive line. Remember the helmet to communication. He's getting the play call, relaying that to the other 10 players on offense.
A couple of tight ends out in the pattern. And he's taking a shot to the end zone. Did he get a foot down? No. Javon Tracy, the ball's broken up. It came out. It was Bo Masco there in coverage. This is the 10th play of the opening drive of the second half. Lindsey on the move, throws it back. Cam Davis, that was sniffed out, and yet Davis is able to get away from 3 men just to get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe get a yard, but that was 3rd down. 3rd and 9. Pressure off the edge. Lindsey gets it out quick. And it doesn't matter if it's 4 down territory. It's a first down. Ichiboy picks it up. So first down and 10 for Minnesota. Lindsey gives it to Ichiboy, and now he's running with a purpose. It was tough sledding in the first half, but as a helmet comes off, if that's his, that's the 2nd time it's happened, and so he's going to have to leave for a play. Quick throw. Smith has to go to get it. Now he's racing for the pylon. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Gophers. Possession of the second half for Rutgers, and here comes pressure. Callian Manis stands in and delivers right on the money to KJ Duff. It's kind of how the first quarter started for Rutgers. Remember, they were throwing it all over the place. Tough play there for Fletcher. He can't bring it down, and then Kerry Brown, who has a pick today, hit him. his second of the day, and his old buddy, he said, I don't know if we're going to text before this game, but I might say something if I land on him, and he does right there. To start this half, Kalyak Maris, pressure, and he gets sacked for the 5th time today. Logan Loya's back deep because Coy Parrish is up on the line of scrimmage, and this punt just gets away from Jacob Anderson, and Loya makes the catch with a couple of sets of watchful eyes surrounding him, and a flag is down back near the line of scrimmage.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 49. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down and 10. Time out on the field.
Misses Jalen Smith for the 2nd home run of the day. Oh, he had pressure right on him. This was his last drive. 6 first downs, which doubled up the total from the first 7 drives for Minnesota. Now 2nd down for Lindsey. Cuts that loose sideline, and it's caught. And breaking away just enough with Javon Tracy for the first down. Moving quick. Processing and throwing complete.
I mean, isn't he just looking more confident? Right in the first half, we talked about it, they didn't run a lot of plays, and there wasn't a ton of productivity outside of one big explosive play offensively, especially in the passing game. But now, on the first drive, now this one, the ball is out. The decisiveness for him at quarterback is so obvious, and I think we're watching somebody take the keys to the car, know how to really drive it. What gear am I in? What do I want to hit? Where do I want to go?
Here comes pressure off the edge, and Ijaboy. It really does feel like both quarterbacks and their OCs are kind of extensions of each other's minds. For Minnesota with a young player in Lindsey who finds Loya, and they've had a connection today. And Loya is able to race for another first down. Best game as a Gopher so far for the UCLA transfer.
Well, I think
Minnesota offensively in the second half, Yogi, looked like the way Rutgers looked to start the game. Tough catch, getting hit, and Drew Baker makes his 3rd reception today. Ijaboy fights his way through for a first down. Keeps fighting. He's able to move the chains. Meanwhile, Nathan Roy is down for Minnesota. That's a 16-yard gain. 21 plays this play. It's just a reverse of the first half where Rutgers dominated the play number. Lindsey, with time, feels the pressure off the edge and then runs into some traffic and goes down for a loss of 1.5 yards. The back pedal and the throw to Bierman out of the backfield, but he stumbles down. First catch of the day for Frank Bierman, and it's 3rd down. So PJ Fleck and Greg Schiano, both those guys are great at calculating how many possessions left, how much game left. Rutgers has touched the ball once in this quarter. It's the 2nd possession for Minnesota. Lindsey with pressure in his face, throws it, and Brockington has it knocked away. What a play by Kai Sanders, and maybe save a touchdown. And now Brockington slow to rise. There's a flag down in the middle of the field as Brockington jumps off. That's DJ Jabome.
another audible.
And this time he hands it. Ijaboy has really gotten going in the second half. 12th play of this drive for Minnesota. Ijaboy again. And he gets a half a yard. Now it's third down.
Yeah, that's a really nice job of this Rutgers defense. You got to give Rob Smith a lot of credit.
is in motion in the slot on third down. Lindsay moving, just pops it up in the air and too far out of the end zone, and now it's fourth down. So you were right, not 4-down territory, 4th and 6, so Brady Denneberg on for a 26-yard try. And he pounds that right through.
Blast back and forth we go.
– 11 seconds left in this third quarter, and this is the 4th possession of the quarter. Quade Prayer showing a little pressure, then backs out. Antoine Raymond, a really good first half. Gets a big chunk here. A pick up of 17 yards for Rutgers. Raymond was running at over 6 yards a carry in the first. 3 years at Minnesota, now in year 2 at Rutgers, and he starts this fourth quarter by giving it to Antoine Raymond, who's thrown 2 haymakers running the ball in the last 2 plays. And the result of that run from Raymond was a first down. Now he's going to catch it out of the backfield, and they are just feeding Antoine Raymond, and he is feasting on these last 3 plays. Antoine Raymond's looking like a featured man. So far this season, it's continued here today. Now Kenny Fletcher, the tight end, with the catch, and he breaks a tackle, and on that tackle, Darius Green is holding his shoulder, and now he's able to pop up, and he's going to exit the field.
So they are down on the depth chart in the back end. You see Jonathan McMillan coming to transfer to TCU 2 years ago.
Back to the ground. Raymond is pulled down this time by Carter Menz. Those 3 receivers, Sheffield, Duff, and Strong, combined for 10 catches in the first half. There's only been 1 amongst the 3 of them here in the second.
Strong looks like it's single coverage bottom of the screen.
Kaliak-Manis. Almost picked off is probably too strong, but a great play there from Mike Gerald, the freshman from Houston. Loud as it's been in here today right now. On 3rd and 15, back to Raymond. Slips 1, slips 2, pushes away from another, and a first down. He steps out of bounds at the 12. That's 4 straight. That's 4 first downs on this drive for Antoine Raymond.
You'll see him step out right there with that inside of that left foot. The best running backs, guy, they utilize the momentum of the defender when they try to tackle him to catapult themselves forward. You referenced it once, twice, 3 times on that drive. They were hoping he would have a coming out party this game. I think he's had that.
Rutgers can still pick up a first down at the 1-yard line. Back to Raymond. Face into the defense, and he pushes his way down inside the 5.
Moving offensive lineman, and here we go again. I'd imagine he'll get it. Little zone read.
Give it to Raymond. Through a hole. Bounces. Reaches. And scores. And Rutgers is back in front. And a great answer drive for Minnesota, for Rutgers offensively. Patel on for the point after. Back and forth we go. All right, 11:28 to go in this game. Greg Lindsay. Pressure, holds onto the ball and gets brought down by Bradley Weaver. A sack off the front end. Pressure up the middle, and Lindsay gets it to Lemeki Brockington, and he gets out across the 30. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4. Rutgers trying to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss in a different way to Iowa last week, and their defense is out there 3rd down. Lindsay, Tracy, and he stopped short, maybe even lost a yard, and now it's 4th down. Now Tom Weston on to punt to KJ Duff. He right up the middle, and he got it away. You always know it's coming when you're punting against Rutgers. The question is, can you stop it? They did prevent the pressure. A very good punt, by the way, from Weston. That was 59 yards. Well, that play, a lot going on there. Rutgers was totally discombobulated on offense, and Kaliak-Manis, to show you how it's going, even when he goes really wrong, he gets a couple of yards. Kaliak-Manis gets it to Fletcher. Second time they've executed that beautifully, and that's a first down. For 15. Back to Raymond. And this time the Minnesota defense is ready for him. Second down, back to Raymond, and this play is blown up in the backfield, and this time he can't slip away. And quickly it's third down. BJ Flex told us this week it does not feel like his first season as a defensive coordinator. They've been together 13 years. So what does Collins do here? Kaliak-Manis steps up, and it's broken. They went to the go-to guy, KJ Duff, and he couldn't hold on. What a play. Darius Green right in there. Yeah. And now Coy Parrish is back deep. Can he make some magic happen on punt return after a big stop from the defense? Jacob Anderson is going to send it over to Parrish, who fair catches it, gets hit. He caught it. A flag comes in. And we'll check on this, but he got hit as that ball was coming in on a fair catch attempt. Let's see.
There is no foul for kick catch interference.
Yeah. Nice call.
Teammate bumped into his own teammate. First down and 10. Timeout on the field.
And Drake Lindsey, the redshirt freshman, a chance to lead a potential game-winning drive as Minnesota takes over here in the fourth quarter. Down by 4. You look at what he's done since those first 7 drives. He's been dialed. But right now he's running away from pressure. He decides to throw on the move. And he finds Javon Tracy. Drake Lindsey creates a big play.
Nice job there on first down.
33-yard pickup. Lindsey again pats it, throws it, completes. Drew Becker. And in a flash, Minnesota is down to the 24. That was 21 yards. Lindsey again connects with Tracy, and it'll be second down. A couple of tight ends in the game now with Cam Davis the back. Lindsey incomplete in the end zone, and it's third down. Lindsey's been really good on third down, 5 of 7, and he makes it 6 of 8. Jamison Gears. Femi Ijaboy the back here on first and goal. Quick throw out to Jalen Smith. Breaks one and steps out of bounds. Lindsey's going to throw. Pats it. Looks. It is caught. Reaching for it. Tracy. He scores. What a drive. And Minnesota's back in front.
After further review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown is upheld. The personal foul will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
So after the penalty on the touchdown, and Minnesota's just going to kick this out of the back of the end zone and set up the defense. On first down, tries to escape the pocket and gets swallowed up. Sacked again. That's complete. D.T. Sheffield. What a catch. The ball came out. He's down. It's a first down. First down for Rutgers. Pick up a 27 yards. A response for Kaliak-Manis.
How about that play? Again, the run pass option. This is where Ethan Kaliak-Manis thrives as a quarterback.
Boy, that ball.
That was close.
Yeah, I don't think it was a fumble, but it was kind of moving as he went to the ground after a hit. Sheffield. Now Kaliak-Manis steps up and can't fit it into the sideline. Likely the last play before the 2-minute timeout.
Devin Williams at the bottom of the screen, number 9.
Manis, and he finds Ian Strong, who is, for a first down, a pickup of 11, and we hit the 2-minute timeout. Nathan Manis finds D.T. Sheffield along the sideline, and Rutgers is into Minnesota territory. Antoine Raymond gets stood up, and it'll be 3rd down.
Get a little flag here, guys.
Our referee.
Prior to the ball being snapped, ball starts. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
From a clock perspective, but they got the first down. And Antoine Raymond gets twisted forward. Should have it, and he does.
This is where Raymond's made most of his hay this afternoon.
Manis, long throw. And KJ Duff's going to make sure to stay in bounds near another first down. Manis is going to keep this himself, and he's going to stay in bounds after the first down. Goes down, and the clock will stop while they move the chains.
Tell you what, I would work the short side of the field. It's Nestor against Strong.
Manis looking the other way. Throws it into coverage. It is knocked away at the last moment. Oh, snapped it away. He wasn't ready for it. Manis steps away from 1, now 2, and he gets swallowed away past the 40 and out of field goal range. A loss of 15. Graziano came sprinting in to call a timeout, and a disastrous play for the Rutgers offense. Wow. Manis, 3-man rush. Steps up, checks it down. Strong cut down at the 38-yard line. Pickup at just 3. It could be a 56-yarder from here. And Graziano's going to use a timeout from 56 yards. Pizarro for the tie. And it is no good. And for Minnesota, it ends in the victory formation. The land of 10,000 lakes take down the Garden State 31-28.